If everything's collapsing, why not enjoy it while you can? All right, so one of my pet peeves is people saying, "Oh, the economy's Bo Biden or Trump, they're going to ruin the economy. The dollar's crashing, fiat currency, blah 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 blah. The Hamas hordes from the south are coming in with ISIS. Russians are coming from the north, Chinese are coming from the east. We're all going to be speaking Arabic, Mandarin, and Russian all at the same time, apparently. The economy's on its back. Yeah, they're going to raise tax. Or where Social Security is bankrupt, there won't be any Social Security. Medicare is bankrupt. There won't be any Medicare." I said, okay, let's just assume all those things happen. So what's your solution? I'm going to buy gold. Okay. All right, gotcha. Gold. And what else? So you got a bunch of gold. What else are you going to do? I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about retirement planning. Let's say all this comes to fruition, and we're speaking Mandarin, Arabic, and Russian all at the same time, and the dollar isn't worth anything, and Bo Biden has put you in a FEMA camp. Let's just say that happens. Would working an extra couple years arrest that from happening? So when Bo Biden puts in a FEMA camp, you would rather have been still digging those ditches as opposed to enjoying it? When they have hyperinflation a la Weimar Republic, we're taking wheelbarrows to buy a loaf of bread. You would rather be working as opposed to having at least a couple years before that to enjoy it with your family, your wife, your kids, your husband, your whatever, nieces and nephews, your dogs. I don't know. Does it literally make any sense at all? Everything's collapsing. You better still work. Why? So you can save more money. Why? It's collapsing, I thought. Whoa, they'll let you buy more gold. Oh, it's starting to rain pretty good. Okay, so what's my gold going to do? It'll keep you from dealing with the Hamas hordes, the Chinese, the Russians, the Biden FEMA camps. Oh, okay. I mean, do people even hear themselves, man? So I just got the horn of the lady. We'll call her Susan. Hey, buddy. Here goes Pablo. Hello. Well, it's for you, Susan. And it wasn't. Her name wasn't Susan, but I just got off the horn with her. And this is Pablo. And she had 4 dogs. She only has 2 now, and they're both not in a good place. So I said, oh boy, 1 second. So if anyone wants to go outside, so I said, okay, right here. So we talked for about the first 30 minutes about dogs, which was fun, but that wasn't necessarily the best financial planning in those 30 minutes, but it was fun because she loves her dogs, I love my dogs, and we just had a good conversation. Then we used the next hour and a half to talk about financial stuff. And we have more to come because we talk so much about dogs. But anyway, so she is single, all right? She is 64 or something like that. I think 64. And she's a workaholic. Hold on just a second. I'll look back. And she's never done anything. She has never been married. She has a family she loves in terms of her sisters. She has nieces and nephews she loves. But she's never taken a vacation, never hardly even gone on a date or anything. She's just a workaholic, man. And she's basically been her dogs, and that's it. And she's ready to hang up the boots. She's like, man, I just, at some point, I gotta enjoy my time for myself. So we're crunching some numbers, and I don't think her expenditures, I don't think they're spot on, but we'll see. And we come in like a 57% probability, a 74% probability, depending on how much we actually use for monthly spending. And that made her worried. Yeah, I get it. I said, Susan, let's look at what this looks like. All right. And so what this looks like is you, quote, run out of money and when you're basically in your late 80s. All right, so she's 64 now, so that's 20 to 25 years from now. You're 88, and that's when the first time we go to 25% probability of not having any liquid assets. And so at that time, though, you'll have a house that's free and clear, worth $500,000 now, and you still have Social Security that's paying $3,500 a month when she takes it at full retirement age. So the worst case scenario, you ran out of liquid assets, but you still have $42,000 a year of income in today's dollars, and a house that's worth $500,000. You could easily take a reverse mortgage. You could downsize, a million different things to do. But that's the worst case scenario. Is that worth hanging in there, some crappy old job? So you can, again, that's up to her. I'm fine with that. That you've never done anything with your life, another extra year or two because we have a probability when you're in the late 80s that you're running out of money. I don't buy that for 2 seconds flat. So anyway, so I said what I would do for you is what I would tell you to do is I'd take your 401k money because she has a brokerage account. It's all heavy in stocks. And that's outside of a taxable account, So I said, what I would do is I'd put your 401k and move it all into the Vanguard money market account when you separate from service, because that will cover about 3 years of income before Social Security kicks in. And I said, that way you have the barbell. You got cash and you got stocks and bonds over here. It's a perfect thing. And she goes, yeah, but what if the interest rates go down? And I said, well, let's think about it. What would cause the interest rates to go down. After some hemming and hawing, well, maybe the market or the economy is not doing so good. Exactly. If the economy doesn't do so well, what usually happens with stocks? They go down. Exactly. So what would happen to your cash? Well, the stocks are going down and the economy is falling apart. Yeah, you might not be making as much interest, but what happens to your cash in the money market? Does it go down? No. Yeah, you might not be making as much, but you haven't lost anything there. That's the benefit about that scenario, because you can live on it. It's your sleep well at night account. So I said, all right, so that's where it just got me thinking. It's like all these people like, oh, the dollar's going to crash, or the Hamas hordes are coming up from the south, or the Chinese are coming from the east, the Russians from the north. Bo Biden's going to put us all in FEMA camps. The dollar's not going to be worth anything. I said, okay, well, what's your solution? I'm going to buy gold and Bitcoin and silver. I said, okay. Then what? So why don't you retire? Why don't you put all your money in gold, Bitcoin, and silver and retire? Well, no, I got to work a couple extra years. Why? Well, I got to be better positioned. Well, if Biden's going to put you in a FEMA camp and the Hamas hordes are coming up and you're going to be speaking Arabic, Chinese, and Russian anyway, you think working an extra couple of years, that's going to put you in a better position for what exactly? For Biden's FEMA camp? I mean, it doesn't make sense. If the dollar's crashing and it's not going to buy, it's going to be Weimar Republic. We're taking wheelbarrows to buy a barrel of bread. You think the extra 2 years of labor, what, you're going to have 2 wheelbarrows now to buy a loaf of bread? Now you can buy 2 loaves of bread for the extra 2 years of labor? What if it's all crashing, why would you still work? Doesn't make sense. So going back to Susan, and she's not thinking like that, but I'm just like, time is limited, man. You're 64, almost 65. Days are getting shorter. The likelihood you live until 90 isn't very high to begin with. And part 2 of that is, even if you ran out of money, well, you're still got a house that's paid for and you still get Social Security. And the running out of money thing is, again, my numbers are I'm very cautious, conservative in my approach. I'm cautiously pessimistic. I'm only giving her I think I was giving her 5.3% rate of return with downside risk similar to 2008. And right now in a money market account, you get 5.3 with no downside risk. So again, I say, if everything's going to hell in a handbasket, you might as well enjoy it while you can, because we're all going to be in FEMA camps. Hold on a second. Don't you want at least a couple years of hanging out with old Pablo before they send you to FEMA camps and make you, eat bugs? At least when you're in a FEMA camp, eating bugs, you can remember the time you could spend with Pablo. Oh, but that extra 2 years. Now look, some people an extra 2 years might make sense. Absolutely. If you're 55 and you still got a bunch of debt and you still got kids you got to take care of, you make me feel like dancing. Gonna dance now away. Jab, jab, hook. Jab, jab, hook. Jab, jab, uppercut. Jab, jab, hook. Look at that guy. Look at that. Look at those paws right there. Yeah. Pablo's a good boy. So, now if anyone's come back in, hold on a second. So, if we're all going to FEMA camp, you might as well go in with some memories, because they're going to take your money away anyway. Those extra 2 years of labor, man, that's really going to make a big difference when Biden puts in the FEMA camp. Why? You wanted to come in, now you know. Anyway, something to think about. Love your thoughts. Super chat me, man. You owe it to me to super chat me, for heaven's sake. I'm always very kind when I say request money here, but it's Thanksgiving. Put some super chats in there. Buy me some coffee in there. Don't hold tight. Your old buddy Josh, you know you want to. You know you want to super chat me and buy me some coffee. You know you do. All right, love your thoughts. We'll see you